And welcome back out to Truist Field tonight alongside Mike Pacheco. Matt Sweran with you, and back in the studio is Mario Washington. Starting lineups, we'll start with the Redbirds, the St. Louis Cardinals AAA club. Leading off in center field, Victor Scott. Thomas Sajaci bats second, plays shortstop. Dylan Carlson is the designated hitter. Lucan Baker back in the lineup today, first base, playing and hitting in that cleanup spot. Cesar Prieto is the third baseman. He'll bat fifth. Then Jordan Walker in right field. Alfonso Rivas the third. He's in left field and batting seventh. Then second baseman Nick Dunn and the catcher Nick Raposo bats ninth. And Sam Robertson is the starting pitcher for the Redbirds here tonight. For the Charlotte Knights, the White Sox AAA club batting first in center field, Dominic Fletcher. Then shortstop Colson Montgomery. The catcher hits third, Chucky Robinson. Then Oscar Colas in right field. Carlos Perez, the first baseman, he'll bat fifth. Zach Deloach in left field bats sixth. Then the designated hitter, Winton Bernard. Second baseman Angelo Castellano, he bats eighth. And Zach Remillard at third base bats ninth. Starting pitcher for the Charlotte Knights is Yohan Dominguez. The umpiring crew has shrunk down to three. And Chris Marco, the crew chief, has home plate tonight. Casey James at third base, and Mark Stewart Jr. is at first base. Leading off the game is Victor Scott, left-handed batter. Dominguez on the mound. Here's the first pitch, and it's going to be outside, ball one. 7:05 is the first pitch time. 85 degrees on this Thursday night here in uptown Charlotte. Scott homered yesterday. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive to center field. Fletcher going back. He'll reach up and make the catch. One down. And now Thomas Sajaci. Sajaci had a good day yesterday, as did Scott, by the way. But Sajaci had a couple of hits, and he was hit by a pitch. One of his hits was a home run. Right-handed hitter. Middle infielder playing shortstop tonight. Not quite all the way back in the batter's box. He does not wear batting gloves. And the pitch by Dominguez is outside for a ball. Yohan Dominguez, 2-1, 4.64 ERA in 6 games, 3 as a starter. Tonight is his fourth starting nod. And he throws a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sajaci is hitting .261, 3 homers and 15 RBIs. Now the pitch, and that is outside off the plate. Carlson is on deck. Knights catcher is Chucky Robinson today. Final night of the ABS calling balls and strikes in this series. Got the challenge system tomorrow through Sunday. Pitch low, now 3-1. Infield playing Sajaci to pull the ball to the third base side. Got the second baseman, Castellano, way up the middle. Perez off the bag at first. Montgomery at short. Remillard at third, playing back. 3-1. Now Dominguez kicks and throws. And misses with ball 4 outside. A 1-out walk. Brings up Dylan Carlson, who's on a rehab assignment from the St. Louis Cardinals. On the Cardinals injured list right now. He's a right-handed batter. Playing in his third game, he's 0 for 4. Does have 1 strikeout. He joined Memphis on this road trip, starting that rehab assignment. Left-handed batter. First pitch is in there for a strike. Knights outfield has Deloach in left field, Dominic Fletcher in center field, and Colas in right. And Fletcher and Colas having to shade their eyes because of the setting sun right now. Same with the second baseman, Castellano, as he plays deep. Here's a pitch that I think hit him. And Justin Jersey's going to argue that it didn't. But going to first base is Carlson. And down to second base is Sajaci. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, see if
of
we
this.
get a second look at this. You know, on first blush, it didn't seem that it did. Let's see.
I got him on the toe.
Got him, I think, on that left toe, yep.
Yeah.
And I think it was on the backside of that left toe, too.
Yeah, I think he thought I was going to miss him.
Yes.
And maybe Jersh is saying he didn't try to
get
get out of the way.
Yeah.
And if you don't try to get out of the way and it hits you, the umpire can say, well, you're still batting.
Right.
But that's not what the home plate umpire, Chris Marco, is going to say. Plus, he's a major league rehab guy. So going to first base is Carlson. Baker now standing in. Lucan Baker played Tuesday, had the day off yesterday. Big right-handed slugger. And he's going to take one on the inside corner for a strike. He had a 30-homer season a year ago. Got his first call up to the major leagues. Right now he's only hitting .210. Has 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. Pitch to him is up high. Prieto is on deck. So right matchup. Baker deep in the box. Looks out at Dominguez. Here's the 1-1, and that's inside. Almost clipped his jersey. Able to get out of the way of that fastball that came in at 93. Kind of boring in on Lucan Baker. So 2-1. Now Dominguez delivers. Swing and a miss. Dominguez a couple of years ago had Tommy John surgery, and he came back last season. 6'4" right-handers, now 28 years old. He's from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Here's a broken bat flare, and the shortstop Montgomery's going to make the play out there in short left field. And the big part of the bat ends up almost on the infield dirt over by third base. So Baker's out. Runners stay put. And now Cesar Prieto with 2 outs. Dominguez has had one start where he's gone 5 innings. That was actually his first one against Norfolk on April the 2nd. Took the loss in that game. 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, a season high 8 strikeouts. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be in there for a strike. Last time out against Lehigh Valley, it was as a start, but he only went 2 2/3 innings. He was on a pitch limit. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be inside. Allowed 1 hit, 1 run. That was the first time he had started since starting in Jacksonville on the 14th of April. So he went 14 days between starts. He had a couple of appearances out of the bullpen, one of which he went 4 2/3 innings against Syracuse here. Here's the 1-1. Prieto sends it down the right field line, going after it, Colas, and he'll get there and make the catch. That'll do it. Couple of base runners, a walk and a hit batter, but no runs. They leave 2, and after a half inning, no score on the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. That's coming up here in the first inning with Dominic Fletcher, Colson Montgomery, and Chucky Robinson. Scoreless game. On the mound is Sam Robertson, and he's had a really terrific start to his season. His first 5 starts. Look at his ERA. It's right now under 2. It's at 1.82 after 5 starts. 3 wins, no losses. He's faced the Knights for the first time in this series. Here's a swing by Fletcher. Foul ball first base side. Well, the Knights faced him in Memphis on that road trip that started the season. You know what, I'm thinking that they faced him, but they faced him last season. Here's the 0-1. Pitch in for a strike. His first outing this year was against Indianapolis on April the 2nd, so he didn't pitch in that first series against the Knights. Here's the ball in the dirt, check swing. They go down to the umpire at third base, and Fletcher did not go. The count 1-2. He faced Indy twice, then Nashville, at Gwinnett, last time out against Jacksonville. His wins, 2 against Indianapolis, and against Gwinnett on the road, he went 8 innings, 1 hit, 1 unearned run. And he threw 98 pitches in those 8 innings, 64 for strikes. The righty deals low, and now 2-2 on Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher just recently sent back to AAA by the White Sox. Here's the 2-2, and he sends one in the air. This one down the left field line, foul ground, and out of play. Out of the reach of the third baseman, Cesar Prieto. It was late in the season last year when the Knights faced them. And I think it was at Memphis, if I remember correctly.
Well, twice, Matt. The 24th here, and then the 20th
at their
at
place.
Home. Yeah.
Here's the 2-2, swing and a roller up the first base line.
Here the Knights really got to him. 6 runs, 7 hits, 4 innings of work, including a home run. But at Memphis, he was stingy.
Got picked up in a trade from the Blue Jays. This one is outside. The count now 3-2 on Fletcher. He was acquired last season at the trading deadline, along with right-hander Adam Klopfenstein, who we've already seen in this series, in exchange for relief pitcher Jordan Hicks. Pitch is hit on the ground right back to the mound. Sam has it, throws to first base, and Fletcher's the first out. So now Colson Montgomery for the Charlotte Knights.
He was kind of a COVID orphan. He was here, and when everything shut down, he couldn't get back into the Netherlands, so he had to stay in Florida and was in a hotel with a bunch of other Blue Jay prospects.
A wind up and the pitch to Montgomery up high. 1 ball, no strikes. That all happened in March, and he would have been already at spring training.
Spring training, yeah.
Montgomery 214, 3 homers and 9 RBIs. Pitch is inside. Robinson is next. Nick Raposo doing the catching. Robertson looks in. Here's the windup, brings the hands over his head, kicks and throws, and hits the inside corner. First baseman today, Lucan Baker. Second baseman, Nick Dunn. So JC plays shortstop and Prieto's at third. Count 2-1. The wind and pitch. And that is low. Now 3-1. In the Redbirds outfield, Rivas playing left field, Victor Scott in center field, and Walker in right field. So 3-1. And now the pitch to Montgomery. Swing and a miss. Doesn't walk many hitters. Last outing against Jacksonville, didn't walk anybody in 7. Gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. He's thrown at least 95 pitches in each of his last 3 starts. Righty deals. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Montgomery. Comes back from 3-1 to strike him out. You look at his numbers, Mike, and you can see why he works so deep in a game. Just doesn't walk guys, doesn't put guys on base.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Because, you know, how many times do you see high walk totals, especially in this ballpark, really come back to bite you? But
that and your pitch count gets elevated.
Yeah,
and it just shortens your night. Chucky Robinson, the batter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a ground ball knocked down by Sem with his pitching hand. Picks it up, throws to first. Apparently he's all right. That's one thing you don't want to do on the mound, but he says he's fine as he tells his catcher, Raposo, he's all right. And he throws Robinson out 1-3, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 first for the Redbirds right-hander at the end of an inning here tonight. No score. Well, back at the corner of Graham and MLK on a thirsty Thursday. Another beautiful night at the ballpark. Top of the second. No score. Leading off is Jordan Walker, Redbirds' big right fielder. Young outfield prospect for the Cardinals. He swings and misses, strike 1. Hasn't spent a lot of time with the Redbirds. Playing in his 3rd game. Has 2 hits and 9 at-bats, 1 double, and 1 RBI. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line shot towards center on the move. and running it down. Making the catch is Dominic Fletcher out there in right center. He got a good jump as soon as that ball was off the bat of Walker, kind of slicing towards right center, and Fletcher ran it down. One away. Here's Alfonso Rivas, who last night, or just yesterday afternoon, had a perfect day. 4 hits and a walk. Single, 3 doubles, and knocked in 3 runs for Memphis yesterday. Left-handed hitter. 275, no homers, and 13 RBIs for Rivas. Alfonso Rivas III. Here's a strike. Inside corner taken. Fastball at 93. It's infield playing him to pull. Dominguez works out of the stretch, and he throws a strike on the inside again. Does not work out of the windup, so just the stretch. Now the 0-2. Again working the inside with a fastball, but leaving off the plate. 94 on that heater. Nick Dunn is on deck. We're in the top of the second, no score, 1 down. Next pitch is outside. Knights are home through Sunday, and then travel late on Monday down to Gwinnett, just north of Atlanta. And they'll take on the Braves AAA club for the first time this season. That'll be next week. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, that's a great changeup right there by Dominguez. Gets a strikeout. 2 down in the inning. Here comes the second baseman, Nick Dunn. Dunn in that 8th spot in the batting order today. He's hitting .240 on the young season. 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Fastball at 95 on the outer third. Dunn deep in that left-handed batter's box. That's infield straight back. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Off speed at 86, and now it's 0-2 on Dunn. As a team, the Redbirds come in batting .246. The pitch inside. Again, Dunn just below that at .240. One-two to center field. A fly ball really well hit. Back goes Fletcher over his glove. It's going to be off the warning track, bouncing up on the wall. And Dunn's going to try for 3 bases, and he's going to get there. Sliding. Safe at third. A triple for Nick Dunn. Well, it was just out of the reach of Fletcher in center field. Ball was hit hard. Fletcher got a good jump on it. Just couldn't quite reach that one on the warning track.
Yeah, just went out, got it about thigh high. Fletcher just went over his head, and that's where triples happen in this ballpark. When it gets over a fielder's head, takes a bounce, or in the right center field power alley, sometimes that's a good triple spot.
Here's the 9th place hitter, the catcher, Raposo, Nick Raposo. And the pitch to him is going to be strike 1. Raposo 2 days ago hit a home run. Did not play in the day game yesterday. He's hitting .229, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Right matchup. And the pitch is just off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Dominguez trying to get out of this inning. There's a man at third. 2 outs. No score. Top of the second. And now the 1-1. On the outside for a strike. 95 miles an hour. Yohan Dominguez is a big guy. He's 6'4", 235. Foul ball. Swing and a foul at home plate. At the top of the batting order, Victor Scott waiting on deck. Let's have the left side of the infield playing back. Perez off the line at first. Dominguez out of the stretch. 1-2 is inside. 2-2. So tomorrow night, game time is 7:04, then 6:05 on Saturday. Both games followed by fireworks. Of course, on Saturday, it's also Star Wars night. May the 4th be with you. Here's a base hit out to right field. Might go for 2. He's going to try for second. And in standing at second with a double is Raposo. Scoring is done. He comes down and scores easily. Raposo just went down and got that ball and sent it the other way out to right center. And he gets himself a double. And the Redbirds take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, just kind of placed it perfectly. It was in between Fletcher and Colas. Colas throwing it in. Standing up safe with doubles Raposo.
So a 2-out rally, a triple and a double, and they get a run. And now here's Scott back up at the top of the batting order. Dominguez pitches. Scott tries to bunt, fouls it off the catcher, Robinson. Strike 1. He fly to center, opening up the game. So the bottom 2 in the batting order, getting to Dominguez here in the second, producing a run with 2 away. Scott trying to keep it going. And now the 0-1 pitch. Dominguez kicks and throws. Scott again tries to bunt, gets it down, but Chucky's got it in front of the plate, throws to first. They get the out, and the inning is over. Just didn't push that ball far enough, and Chucky Robinson makes the play. 2-3 to end the inning. Knight's coming up down a run now here at the bottom of the second. Oscar Colas will lead off. Carlos Perez and Zach DeLoach also do up. So had a 1-2-3 first inning. The right-hander winds up, and the pitch is in for a strike taken. The Redbirds righty traded by the Blue Jays to the Cardinals last July. Now the pitch. Swinging a foul. Selected to participate in the Major League Baseball Futures game last year. .61 right-hander. Mike mentioned he's from the Netherlands. The 0-2, swing and a miss. So a strikeout of Colas. Who was the guy, Mike? The Pirates had him. He pitched in the major leagues. He was at Indianapolis, also from the Netherlands.
Oh,
got to the big leagues.
Yep.
Hard thrower, big guy, hard thrower. Here's Carlos Perez. Right-handed hitter. The pitch to him is going to be taken for a strike. Carlos hitting .278. Couple of homers, 11 RBIs. Had a home run yesterday. Pitch is outside. Now the 1-1. Swing and a foul. Was it the Netherlands or was it another country in Europe? I can't quite remember. I thought it was the Netherlands.
I don't think so.
1-2 on Carlos Perez. Here's the pitch. Swing and a smash up the middle. Under the glove of the second baseman, done, and it's a base hit to center field for Carlos Perez. Now Zach DeLoach. DeLoach, the left fielder for the Charlotte Knights, left-handed batter. Now the pitch, swing and a smash, foul past the bag at first base. He yanked that one just outside of the bag.
Are you thinking of the Lithuanian?
That's what I was thinking of, yes.
Devoidus Neverauskas, right? Did I say that right?
Dovidas. Neverauskas.
Neverauskas. I remember him.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. So, Lithuania. Threw hard. I remember him. Here's the 0-1. And it's outside. Back in the days when we used to play Indianapolis.
That's right.
Now they're coming to our place this year, but we're not going there.
And Howard's not traveling, right? Howard Kellman,
Don't
a
know.
long-time voice, or at least he wasn't last year.
1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch is a smash past the third baseman. They had a little bit of a mini shift on, and the third baseman, Prieto, was basically playing shortstop. That ball off his left side, right on by him. Base hit out to left field. Down to second base goes Perez, and now the Knights have runners on first and second base. 1 down, and Winston Bernard is coming up.
Sometimes we just find out when they show up.
Bernard, the designated hitter. .289, 1 home run, 8 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. The pitch is going to be down low. 1 ball, no strikes. .1-0, swing and a ground ball right through the legs of the shortstop, Sajacy. Stopping at third is Perez. That ball was hit so hard, Sajacy couldn't get his glove down quick enough. He was in front of it, trying to get the glove down. That ball was hit so hard, it went right on by him.
That was like a wicked slap shot from the point. It was. That's about as hard a ground ball as I've seen in a while. That was crushed.
Knights have loaded the bases. That's one of those you want to know the exit velocity.
Yeah, right. Well, I can tell you that. 113 miles an hour.
It's pretty darn hard. That might be one of the hardest ones hit by a Knight all season. Here's a liner foul on the right field line.
I mean, I don't think we've seen home runs hit that hard.
They're going to rule that a hit, and that's the right call, man. 113 miles an hour. He just couldn't get his glove down quick enough.
Yeah. It's like a Bjorn Borg serve.
Here's the pitch, and it's inside.
Call that an ace?
That was Gretzky on the break, man. That was just pulling up at the blue line right there.
Wicked slapper.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch is
Oh.
pulled foul. Look out. That's
That was
the
hit hard,
Redbirds
too.
dugout. Yanked by Castellano. So give Bernard a base hit. Base is loaded. When you pulled up that list of pitchers that pitched in the big leagues that were from the Netherlands, I saw the name Win Remmerswal. Remember him as a kid. Pitches a check swing on a pitch outside. Didn't go. They appealed down to third. And the count now 2-2. Saw him pitch for the Pawtucket Red Sox when I was growing up. Got to Boston. Pitched for the Red Sox a little bit. It's a prospect at one time for Boston. Here's the 2-2. On the ground, slowly up the middle, taken by the shortstop. They got 1 at second, back to first, double play. That's a nice turn at second base by Dunn. And they just do get Castellano at first base. And that gets the Redbirds out of the inning. Well, we move down to the top of the third. Memphis has a 1-0 lead. It'll be Sajacy and Carlson, followed by Baker. 2, 3, 4 in the batting order, facing Yohan Dominguez. In Dominguez's last outing, he went 2 2/3. He's into the third inning tonight. This first pitch of the inning is going to be his 37th of the game. Right matchup. And the pitch to Sajacy is going to be taken high. 1 ball and no strikes. Sajacy drawing a walk in the first. Redbirds left 2 on base in the opening inning and scored a run on 2 hits, leaving a man in the second. And now we're in the third. Here's ball 2, 2-0 on Thomas Sajacy. Sajacy goes without the batting gloves. Dominguez pitches, and ball 3 is down low. You think this is going to be a longer outing for Dominguez today. There's nobody at the moment warming up in the Charlotte Knights bullpen. The count 3-0 on Sajaci. It's from Carlsbad, California. He'll take a strike. He was picked up last season in a trade with the Texas Rangers. 5th round pick of the Rangers in 2020. The pitch, and that's ball 4, missing outside. Leadoff walk here in the 3rd. And the hitter is Carlson, who got hit his first time up on his left foot, around his toes, his back foot, as he was facing Dominguez, batting left-handed. He's on the Cardinals injured list. It's a major league rehab assignment. A balk's been called on Dominguez. The umpire, Casey James, quickly calling a balk as Dominguez made that move to first base, and now down to second, advances Sajaci. I mean, all the umpires saw it.
He knew it too. You could tell by his reaction.
Runner on second, nobody out. Now the pitch. That's ball 1 outside.
Second balk of the year for Dominguez.
And the 3rd called on a Charlotte Knight this season. Here's a strike. Another one on Jake Woodford. Luken Baker's on deck. Here's the 1-1 to Carlson. Swing and a ground ball, foul, first base. Now the playing field completely in the shadows. The sun is shining on the office buildings behind right field as the sun is going down here in the Queen City. Another beautiful day, a warm day today. Temperature up near 90, 85 at game time. The pitch, swing and a ground ball. This one to the right side and under the glove of the second baseman Castellano. Stopping on third base will be Sajaci. Carlson has a ground ball single that just got under the glove of Castellano. Played back in by Colas. And you know, the Redbirds have seen enough of Colas in throwing to home plate
Yeah.
that they're not going to risk it. Colas has a very good, accurate arm in right field. He's thrown out numerous runners this season at home plate trying to score on him. Here's Luken Baker. Baker popped up his first time. He's 0 for 1. And he takes up high, 1 ball, no strikes. That's why, you know, if a team's taking infield, you want to come out, you want to watch, see what the outfielders can do, what kind of arm they have. But the Redbirds have seen Colas firsthand in Memphis and what he can do out there in right field. Pitch is outside, just off the plate. So 2-0 on Baker. Here's the 2-0, swing and a miss. Well, I'd mentioned there was no one warming up in the bullpen, and this would probably be a full inning for Dominguez, but the way it has started with 2 on base and nobody out, Abbott is now warming up in the Charlotte Knights bullpen. Dominguez pitches, swing and a fair ball past the bag at third. Baker just crushed that one up the line. That scores Sajaci. Carlson is being waved around. Here's the relay. Home. There's a play. And out at home. Over to third safely is the big guy, Luken Baker, in standing up as Robinson fired it right back down to third base. But Baker is in safely. But the putout, 7-6 to 2. Great relay by Montgomery, right on the money. They get a run. It's now 2-0. And Montgomery was about 5 feet in the outfield up the line. Made a good one-hop throw, and Robinson was sitting there waiting with the baseball as Carlson slid in. Infield comes in with 1 out, a man at third. The first pitch, a breaking ball waved at and missed.
Man, that was textbook. I mean, from Deloach, Montgomery, just a seed. And Jackie Robinson was waiting on him. Waiting on Carlson.
Here's a fly ball to left by Prieto. That's hit well. That's at the wall, and that one's out of here. Off the top of the wall. Comes back on the playing field. But a home run for Prieto, and they double up the lead. It's now 4-0. So 4-0 now, Redbirds. And the pitching coach is going to go out to the mound. RC is going to go out there.
361, the distance estimated on that home run.
Prieto now 5 homers, which ties him with Lucan Baker for the team lead. 16 RBIs. Only 1 out of the inning. The meeting on the mound breaks up. Base is now empty. The batter is Jordan Walker, who flied out his first time as Abbott continues to warm up in the Charlotte Knights bullpen. How quickly things can go sideways. And all of a sudden it's a 4-0 lead for the Redbirds. And now Walker stands in, gets a second look at Yohan Dominguez. Right-hander against a right-hander. The pitch, low and away. And the 1-0 is inside. Walker jumping back away from that one. That home run by Prieto was a towering home run. Hit the top of the wall and fell back on the playing field. Opposite field homer. The pitch. Swing and a foul off the right. Prieto was picked up in a trade from the Orioles last year. So the Cardinals, another one of the teams that was very active at the deadline last season, making some trades and restocking their minor league system. 2-1. Line drive up the middle and a hop taken by the second baseman. Castellano throws to first in time. He was playing up the middle, so he had to take 2 steps to his right, able to field that ball behind the bag and then make a strong throw just ahead of Walker, who was really hustling down the line. Put out 4-3, 2 down, and here comes Rivas for a second look. Rivas struck out his first time, but he's not going to face Dominguez. He's going to face Abbott because here comes Justin Jersley. And for the second consecutive start, Dominguez goes 2 2/3. He's coming out. We got a call to the bullpen here in the third. Knights down 4 runs. We're back in a moment. This is the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. 1-0 at the 6.23 in 4 games. With Tacoma, he had 1 start. 3 innings, allowed 4 hits and 3 runs. Giving up a couple of homers for the Tacoma Rainiers. So here's Rivas, a left-hander. Abbott, a righty. His first pitch inside, ball 1. Rivas hitting .272. We're in the top of the third. The Redbirds have a 4-0 lead. Now the pitch, and that'll be a strike. So Yohan Dominguez goes 2 2/3 innings, 5 hits and 4 runs. He walked 2, hit 1, and struck out 1 batter. And had a balk. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right back to Abbott. He'll snag that one and flip it over to first. And that will end the inning. But they get 3, 2 coming on Prieto's home run. We go to the middle of 3 with the Knights trailing. Join us at the ballpark tomorrow night and again on Saturday for postgame fireworks as the Knights take on the Memphis Redbirds. Memphis here through Sunday. Get your tickets by going to charlotteknights.com. Also on Saturday, it is our Star Wars night. Knights wearing special Star Wars themed jerseys. Leading off is Zach Remillard. First pitch is going to be strike one. We're in the bottom of the third. Knights trailing now 4-0. Remillard's first at bat of the night. Hitting 111, 4 RBIs. Right-handed batter. Pitch to him. He swings and sends a fly ball to the right field side. That's going to drift and go back in the seats. Foul ball, strike two. Remillard playing in his 15th game. He's had a couple of call-ups already this season with the Chicago White Sox. Had his first big league call-up with the Sox last year. Played over 50 games in the majors last season. Swings and misses. And that's in the dirt, but knocked down by the catcher. And they get the out as Remillard walks back to the dugout. And as soon as he left the batter's box and left that dirt area, he was automatically out, even though Raposo threw on down to second base. Didn't need to. So it's a strikeout, one down, and here's the top of the batting order, Fletcher. That's 3 strikeouts now for the Redbirds right-hander. Sam Roberts up now with a 4-run lead, and he throws ball one to the lefty batting Fletcher. Colson Montgomery is next. Now the 1-0. In the air, fly ball to center. And waiting for it, making the catch out there is Victor Scott. 2 outs quickly. Second time through the order facing the Charlotte Knights hitters, and here's Montgomery. Who struck out swinging on a 3-2 pitch back in the first inning. Knights won the opener on Tuesday, but dropped the second game yesterday afternoon. Down 4 early today. Here's the windup and the pitch to Montgomery. Ball one inside. Redbirds playing Montgomery to pull on the infield. 1-0, swing and a miss. And the next one is off the plate outside at 88. And now ball 3. So 3-1. It was 3-1 on Montgomery the first time around. That was before he struck out. Roberts is just 21 years old. The righty winding up, delivers, swinging a foul ball. First base side, now 3-2. 4-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider, cutter, change. Last season had a 4.06 ERA. 3-5 record. And again, finished in AAA at 20 years old. Here's the pitch, up high, ball 4. That'll be his first walk today. He didn't walk many hitters at all, just the 7th one this season. First one today, and it brings up Chucky Robinson. Chucky grounding back to the pitcher in the first inning. So with 2 outs, there's a runner on first base. Knights trailing 4-0 in the third. Pitch low. One ball and no strikes. Now Mike talked about when he was with the Blue Jays and the pandemic hit in that spring training of 2020. He couldn't get back home to the Netherlands and lived in a hotel near the complex down in Florida. And also some of the prospects of the Blue Jays that got stuck here as well. A couple of guys from Venezuela. Pitch in for a strike. Some of his teammates from other countries. They all had to spend some time together and basically their own little quarantine and had to work out just amongst themselves. And being a young guy, really a lot of his development was on his own in his early days as a pro. Here's a line drive to left by Chucky Robinson. That's a base hit. Down to second goes Montgomery, and it brings up Oscar Colas. So now the Knights have 2 on base with 2 outs. And if Colas could get a hold of one right here, he'd make it a 1-run game.
Have you been to Dunedin?
Not in a long time. It's been a while.
We were there last year. The season was over, but went to the ballpark. It's a neat little ballpark and kind of right in the neighborhood.
Here's the pitch. Colas swings and misses. Yeah, I'd love to get back to play the Buffalo Bisons because the Blue Jays really redid that field up in Buffalo when they called it their home that season. When they couldn't play in Toronto. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a slow ground ball on the first base side. The pitcher has to cover. Baker drops the ball and everybody is safe. He knew he had a hurry, and he kind of looked up to see where the pitcher Robersa was running over, and he came up without the ball. And that's not to say had he even cleanly got it that he would have thrown him out, but they had a shot. But now the bases are loaded for Carlos Perez. I think if he cleanly picks it up, they probably get him. But it would have been close.
It's going to go in as a single, Matt. Infield hit.
Load him up for Perez, who singled his first time. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a strike. Perez, the tying run. Knights loaded the bases last inning, but a double play grounder got the Redbirds out of the inning. Now the Knights loaded up again with 2 outs. The pitch, swing and a high fly ball. This one is center field. Scott is under it, comes in a few steps and makes the catch. Knights again load them up, but they do not score. This time they leave 3. Well, the Redbirds have a 4-0 lead. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Corey Abbott back on the mound. And stepping in with the play-by-play, here's Mike Pacheco.
And right on cue, the first pitch is swung on, grounded straight away to Castellano. He had to go a little bit to his right, only a step or 2, but makes the catch, and that is the first out here in the 4th inning. Putout goes 4-3 at first base, and now Nick Raposo, who doubled and drove in Nick Dunn in the 2nd inning, will step in. Last inning, Matt mentioned big promotion on Saturday night. Fastball is going to be a strike from Corey Abbott to the outer half, strike 1. Knights will be wearing Star Wars themed jerseys, and they are terrific. Here's the 0-1, especially if you like The Mandalorian. But Matt, the folks can go to the Charlotte Knights website, particularly on game day, and those jerseys are going to be auctioned off.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, to benefit Charlotte Knights charities. Next pitch is going to be strike 2, and the count is 0-2. They are really, I think Tommy's done some media tour stuff with them, or if he hasn't, he will be. And they do. They are really fantastic. People are going to, this is going to be a really good collectible item, I think. There's the 0-2 to the plate. And Raposo swings, ground ball, couple hops out to third. Remillard fires across the diamond in time for the out, 2 away.
Yeah, it's a good cause, too. You know, the Knights do a lot of great things around the community with Charlotte Knight charities, and you get a really cool jersey out of it, too. You got me thinking because you're talking about
JUD2?
Yeah, you know, when I went to college back in the 80s, Jackson University, we had an alternate mascot. It was just like R2D2, but it was called JUD2. And it talked and all that. It would be at basketball games, and it looked just like R2D2. And I've been trying to Google to see if I can find a picture or something. It's like it never existed. And
maybe
I know it did.
Maybe it's in an alternate universe. Just the multiverse.
It was very cool. I've always wondered what happened to it. Like, is it in a closet somewhere? Did someone take it? But it was really cool.
So the count now 2-0. Here comes the pitch. It's swung on, sent out to center field. Fletcher drifting to his right. He'll get underneath it, lifts up the glove, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Corey Abbott and the Charlotte Knights. We're played 3.5 here in Uptown Charlotte. Knights trailing 4-0 to the Redbirds on the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. And now the count 1-2 on Deloach. In the arsenal, fastball, slider, cutter, and a change. Right-hander fires. Pitch is going to be down low. Changeup on back-to-back pitches has squared up the count, 2-2. Now, despite the 5 hits, the Knights have not put a leadoff hitter aboard in an inning. Here's a swing and a ground ball to the second baseman. Dunn, a step over to his left, scoops and throws to first. So that will continue here in the 4th. One away for Winton Bernard, who had a 113-mile-an-hour single. It was a hard smash at Thomas Sajaci, the shortstop. So he has one of the 5 Knights base hits. Roberts has been pretty stingy. Came in with that 1.82 earned run average. Here he's going to miss inside. Ball 1 on a slider. Overhead delivery, the 1-0 to the plate, and that time he's going to get a fastball for a strike called on the inner half. Count 1-1. Bernard taps home plate, bat up over the shoulder, has the red batting gloves. Full overhead wind for Robertson. Pitch is going to be swung on. It's fouled off in the air first base side. And that will get back up and out of play into the seats past the dugout on the first base side, the Knights dugout. So now Robertson is ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. So he has 3 strikeouts in the game today and 1 walk. And the 1-2 is going to skip away in the dirt, slider away. 2-2. So he's thrown 4 times as many strikeouts as he has walked, almost 5. 2-2 to the plate. Swinging a hard ground ball, shortstop backhanded. Sajaci throws over to first to Lucan Baker for the out. Second out of the inning, 2 away for Castellano. So that time, another hard ball to the shortstop, this time in the hole. The first one that it was a hit was just a hard smash straight away to Sajaci. Redbirds leading the Knights here 4-0. We're at Truist Field in the 4th inning. Lights are on here at Truist Field with dusk beginning to settle in. Blue skies up above. Pitch is going to be in for a ball on a 4-seam fastball at 92. Next pitch, the 1-0 is going to be low. So misses on the outside with a slider. And now Castellano, who grounded into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play in the 2nd inning, is ahead 2-0. 2-0 to the plate. Paints for a strike on the outer half. That cutter (2-1) swung on into the air down the right field line. Baker drifting back pedals, makes the catch, holds on to the ball, does a barrel roll backwards, and hangs on for the out. Knights go 3 up and 3 down. Robertson and the Redbirds have retired the Knights 4 straight going back to last inning. And the Knights trail 4-0 to the Redbirds on the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. Batter to reach against Corey Abbott. He came in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. And he got Rivas, who has been just phenomenal in the series, although 0 for 2 today to ground out. So now it's Carlson, a hit batter and a single. He was thrown out at home. And the first pitch is going to be swung on off the netting down the right field line and lands right in front of the Knights bullpen. That was on the single by Baker that scored Sajaci. So Sajaci now 3 walks. He's on at first. Abbott will fire back to first, and diving hands first back to the bag is Sajasi. Knights pitchers have thrown 3 walks, and they've all been to Sajasi. Abbott, the right-hander, fires. Pitch is swung on, tap foul at the plate. It's going to roll to the on-deck circle, toward the on-deck circle. It's going to be retrieved by Lucan Baker, and he hands it off to the bat boy in the third base dugout, Cole Catalano. Count 0-2 for Carlson. Had that single back up the middle his last time up. And now the 0-2 with the runner going. That's going to be a ball. Throw down to the shortstop Montgomery. He gets the tag, and out at second is Sajasi. So he's out caught stealing. Good throw by Chucky Robinson. Now the bases are clear and 1 out. And the count 1-2 now on Carlson. But it was a strike by Robinson to the shortstop Colson Montgomery. One-two to the plate, just down low and misses. That knuckle curve missing for ball 2. See if he comes fastball here on the 2-2. Pitch is on the way. It's going to be swung on and sent out to left. It was a fastball, and it is going to be a fastball out of here. A home run for Dylan Carlson. That's his first here on this rehab assignment. So it's a 5-0 lead, but could have been worse if Sajasi was still on the bases. So a solo shot, second home run of the game. That's the first off Corey Abbott today. 365, the estimated distance out to out to left field. Knights are going to have an appeal over to first. They thought Carlson did not touch first base, but the first base umpire, Mark Stewart Jr., denied that appeal. He said he touched the bag. So home run stands, 5-0. Here comes the pitch to Lucan Baker, and it's a first pitch strike on the knuckle curve away. Next pitch is down low. Again, that knuckle curve, and they're going to say Baker went around. He thought he held up the swing, but the home plate umpire asked for the appeal. That was Chris Marco. And now the 0-2 to the plate. That's going to be outside on a slider away. Abbott didn't like that baseball, so he's going to toss it out, get a fresh one. Cleanup hitter Baker, 1 for 2 today. Here comes the 1-2 to the plate, swinging a hard smash third. It's a foul ball. It crossed foul just before the bag at third. Hits the sidewall and goes out to Zach DeLoach, but a foul ball. It'll stay 1-2. Baker had a hard smash in the third, almost in the same spot. This one, though, was about 8 inches fair as opposed to that one that went foul. Again, the 1-2. He goes opposite field out to right. Coming in is Colas. He'll lift up the green glove, makes the catch. And that's the second out of the inning. So now 2 away for Cesar Prieto. Prieto, the other home run, a 2-run shot in the third. Knights are trailing 5-0 to the Redbirds. Redbirds are the Cardinals' AAA affiliate. Both teams enter play today at 13-50. The International League West a little bit more tightly packed. Here's a swing and a ground ball to first, backing up Perez. He'll toss underhanded to Abbott at first base, steps on the bag in front of Prieto, and that is the final out of the inning. Out is 3-1 at first base. Solo home run for Carlson adds a run for the Redbirds. Memphis now leading Charlotte 5-0 on the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. On Remillard that misses ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to the plate. Swinging a ground ball foul at third. It's going to be just past Knights manager Justin Jerschley. And now Jersch is going to head over and pick it up in the visitors' bullpen. And the count is squared up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Roberts' next pitch, swinging a ground ball over to third. Prieto picks it up off the brown dirt, throws over to first. In time for the out, 1 away. So Zach now 0 for 2. And the Knights will bring top of the order up with Dominic Fletcher 0 for 2 to bat next. Fletcher, in the Knights first, had a comebacker to Sem Robertsa. And he was the second batter in the third inning. He flied out to Victor Scott in center. And now the first pitch to Fletcher is going to be down low above the shoe tops and in on a cutter that misses for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to the plate, and it's going to be over for a strike. Cutter evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. So 3 cutters here to start with Fletcher. Time called at home plate by Chris Marco on behalf of the hitter Fletcher. He's back in. Full windup from the right-hander Robertsa, and the pitch is going to be down low. 2-2. So everything's been cutters here in this at-bat. The 2-2 with 1 out. And that's going to be strike 3 called on the outer half. And Fletcher is the 4th strikeout of the night for Sam Robertsa. That was a slider that got him. And now 2 away for Colson Montgomery. And the first pitch is going to be down low. Misses ball 1 for Montgomery. A walk and a strikeout today. The walk was his last time up. One over to the plate. Swinging a ground ball. Pulled foul up the first base line. Caroms off the sidewall. And into the Knights bullpen. Evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 to the plate, cut on and missed. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swung and missed on a changeup there. And now the advantage to the pitcher with 2 outs. The 2-0 1-2 pitch from Robertsa, and Montgomery slams it down the right field line. If it stays up, it could be gone. It is a home run for Colson Montgomery, his 4th. A laser beam out to the Atrium Health home run porch. And the Knights get a run back. It's now 5-1 Redbirds. He crushed that changeup from Robertsa. And that's just the 2nd home run given up by the Redbirds starter all year. So Knights on the board, down 5-1. Here's Chucky Robinson. Chucky 1 for 2 today. Robertson's pitch, and that's going to be slider away that is taken for ball 1. The exit velocity on Montgomery's home run was 113.8. So that was roughly the same or very close to that ground ball by Winton Bernard. It was 388 on the estimated distance. Now the 2-0 to the plate. Swung on, fouled back up and out of play. And it works to count 2-1. Oscar Colas would bat next. Should Robinson reach? There's starting to be some movement in the Redbirds bullpen. A couple of players doing some stretches. Robertson into his windup. The 2-1 to the plate is going to be cut on and missed. The cutter swung on by Robinson and missed. So it'll square it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Knights down 5-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Robinson's 2-2. It's up high. A fastball up and out of the zone that misses ball 3. So it's been changeup, some sliders, cutter, that time a 4-seam fastball. And now a full count for Chucky Robinson. Here comes the payoff pitch. It's going to be cut on and missed. A slider away, tipped it into the mid for strike 3. That's the 5th strikeout for Sam Robertson. Knights get a run back on the 2-out home run by Colson Montgomery. And after 5, Charlotte trailing Memphis 5-1 on the Charlotte Knights. Baseball net moving along to the top of the 6th inning with Matt Swearad. Mario Washington back in studio. I am Mike Pacheco. Knights trailing 5-1 to the Redbirds to start the inning. And the first pitch to Jordan Walker is going to be a fastball up and misses ball 1. Next pitch on the way. Off speed, that knuckle curve, and it was waved at by Walker. It was like he decided to swing late. So it evens up the count. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That time, fastball up and in, misses ball 2. So we've seen a lot of knuckle curves tonight from Corey Abbott. 2 fastballs so far in this at-bat. The 2-1 is going to be swung on and fouled back. Another fastball, and that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The only hit surrendered so far by Corey Abbott has been that 1-out home run by Dylan Carlson. It was a solo shot. 2-2. It's swung on. It's lifted in the air. It's going to go back foul first base side and back into the seats. And it will even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Abbott looks in for the sign. The 2-2 to the plate. Again swung on down the right field line. And after giving it chase, Perez, he'll watch it go back about 10 rows back into the seats. So 6 pitches so far in this at-bat. Swinging strike and now 3 foul balls. The 2-2. That's smashed to center field. Fletcher drifting back, lifts up the glove, makes the catch. Middle of the warning track for the first out of the inning, 1 away. And it's Alfonso Rivas III coming up. Currently batting .600 in the series. He's come up 10 times. He has 6 hits. Three of those 6 hits have been doubles. And he had a perfect 4-for-4 night last night. Here in this game, he's 0 for 2, and he takes ball 1 low on a fastball that misses from Corey Abbott. The Knights right-hander fires the 1-0. That's swung on out to left. Running back is Deloach to the wall, lifts up the glove in front of the Sunbelt Reynolds sign, makes the catch. That is the second out of the inning, and now 2 away for Nick Dunn. Dunn tripled in the second inning. It was a ball straight away to center field. Sometimes for center fielders, the toughest ball to defend is the one hit right at them, but Fletcher making a pretty good line for it. Ball just went over his head, caromed off the wall. And that allowed Dunn to take third. First pitch is going to miss ball 1 for Dunn, who's 1 for 2 today. Abbott, the right-hander, fires the 1-0 to the plate. It's going to be in for a strike. Paints right over the middle part of the plate. Knuckle curve. Called strike. Equals the count, 1-1. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball thigh high and in. So now 2-1 on Dunn. 2 outs, nobody on in the 6th. Knights trail by 4 runs. The 2-1 to the plate is going to be low and misses for ball 3. That time a slider for the right-hander Corey Abbott, originally from San Diego, California, 28 years old. The 3-1 is going to paint for a strike. Knuckle curve gets over. In fact, both of the called strikes have been on that knuckle curve. Knights trying to close out the inning. Here comes the 3-2, swinging a ground ball foul. Full count with 2 outs, bases empty. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Nick Dunn batting for the 3rd time. Knights now getting activity with a right-hander up in their bullpen. Here's the 3-2 with 2 outs, and it's going to be a ball 4 and a 2-out walk. So 2-out walk puts Dunn aboard. Raposo, the catcher, to bat next. His 3rd time up. Doubled to right in the 2nd inning. In the 4th, he was the 2nd out of a 1-2-3 inning with a ground out to Zach Remillard at 3rd. Right-handed hitter. He went to right field for the double in the 2nd, going opposite field. And he swings and loops one to the shortstop. Montgomery running to his left, makes the catch on the run, and that'll do it for the Redbirds here in the top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on. After 5.5, Charlotte trailing Memphis 5-1 on the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. Against the starter, Sem Robertson. The right-hander fires. First pitch is swung on, sent out to center field. Not deep. Scott coming in, and the center fielder, kind of a hop step, makes the catch. Didn't need to do that, but he makes the catch. And that's the first out. It'll bring up Carlos Perez, who singled his first time up, batting for the 3rd time. He's 1 for 2. Last time it was a fly out to Scott in center field. Playing the right-handed hitter to pull. And the first pitch is going to paint for a strike. Catches that outer half. Robertson. Full overhead windup, the 0-1. That's going to miss low. And it will square up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Knights number 5 hitter in the order batting. Here's the pitch away. Missing low, so 2-1. Now the righty fires 2-1, swung on, sent it out to right. Walker circled back, now comes back in. Makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So Perez fouls off the fastball to the opposite side. And now it's Zach DeLoach with 2 outs and nobody on here in the Knights' 6th inning. Charlotte trailing 5-1 to Memphis. First pitch is in for a strike. A slider catches the upper edge of the zone. Now the 0-1 to the plate. That's going to miss off the plate outside. That cutter up out of the zone. Evens up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bases empty, 2 outs. The 1-1. And that's going to miss low off the knees outside. 2-1. A changeup missing off the plate. Now the 2-1. Swung on, sent opposite field down the left field line. That'll get back and into the seats for a souvenir, and the count is squared at 2-2. So Knights looking for a base runner here. Down 4 runs, bottom of the 6th. Roberts' pitch is going to be down low. It was straight away, but in the dirt, low. And now the count is full for Zach DeLoach at 3-2. Payoff pitch with 2 outs on the way. It's going to be a fastball cut on and miss, strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Sem Robertson. Knights go in order 1, 2, 3 here in the 6th. We move to the 7th in Uptown Charlotte. Knights down 5-1 to the Redbirds on the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. The Missouri native, 6'4", 205 right-hander, 25 years old. Plymell will come in and face top of the order with Scott, Sajasi, and Carlson. And back with the play-by-play. Once again, here's Matt Swerat.
All right, Mike, thank you. And the Knights have some work to do as they trail by 4. Plymell's done a nice job this season out of the bullpen for the Knights, and his first pitch is skied on the infield. In fact, behind home plate, right up the old elevator shaft, and the catcher, Chucky Robinson, just turns around and waits for that ball to come down and makes the catch. So Scott is out.
He played that cool as the other side of the pillow. I mean, he shed the mask. Remillard was charging in thinking maybe he didn't see it, but Chucky was spot on there.
So with 1 down, here comes Sajasi, who's been up 3 times and walked 3 times. He has scored once, and the pitch to him is going to be a strike. Now Sajasi had a really terrific season a year ago, 5th round pick by the Rangers in 2020. Made his AAA debut last season for the Redbirds. Takes up high. Began his season at AA Frisco last year with the Rangers. And then when he was traded, went AA for the Cardinals before getting promoted to Memphis. Count now 2-1. He led all of the minor leagues last season with 170 hits. And guess who number 2 was? Victor Scott. Here's a check swing foul ball behind the plate, now 2-2.
Yeah, that's good. Good combo right there.
Sajasi's only 21 years old. So again, one of the young prospects that was acquired by St. Louis last year. Middle infielder. Here's the 2-2. Outside 3-2. He just looks really comfortable at home plate.
Sure does.
Now he asks for timeout. 3-2 the count. You got Carlson on deck. 1 out, top of 7. Right now it's a 5-1 lead for the Redbirds. Now Plymell delivers, and it's fouled back. Fastball in 91, and Sajasi was right on it. Again, the 3-2. Here it is, and it's popped up. This one on the right side of the infield. The second baseman Castellano camping under it, and he'll make the catch on the infield dirt. 2 up, 2 down, and now the hitter is Dylan Carlson, who had a home run in the 5th inning. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st. He's also singled, so he's had a perfect night going. He's on the St. Louis Cardinals injured list, so he's on a rehab assignment. Here's the pitch, and that'll be a strike. Scranton right now is on top of Jacksonville 2-0 in the 7th inning. The reason I tell you that is because Scranton's trying to become the first 20-game winner in the minor leagues this season. They've had a great start, the Yankees AAA club. Pitch is down low. 19-9. Next closest in the International League is 16 wins, Buffalo. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 91. Two outs, nobody on base. The count is 1-2. The kick and the pitch, and this is popped up. 3 pop-ups in the inning. This one on the left side, and the shortstop Montgomery right on the edge of the outfield grass. He was still in the dirt, makes the catch, and Plymouth gets all 3 faces, all 3 popping up in the infield. 7th inning stretch time. It's brought to you by Ortho Carolina. That's coming up. They trail 5-1. You're listening to the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. New pitcher coming in the game now. It is Jacob Bosiokovic, a right-hander coming out of the bullpen for the Memphis Redbirds. Bosiokovic, and he's going to face the bottom 3 for the Charlotte Knights. Winton Bernard, Angelo Castellano, and Zach Remillard. Right now it's a 5-1 Memphis lead. Game 3 of the series, and the pitch to Bernard is up high. Bernard has a single and a ground out. The single was hit so hard it went through the legs of the shortstop Sajasi, but it was hit so hard he couldn't get his glove down to field it. Here's the 1-0, and it's going to be a strike. I don't normally talk about exit velocity and things like that, but it was hit so hard. We looked at it, 113 miles an hour off the bat. Yeah, smoked. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. One and 2 the count. Righty-righty matchup. And Bernard asking for timeout. Bosiokovic, 30 years old. Last season in independent baseball. Charleston, West Virginia. The Charleston Dirty Birds. Used to be a Class A team. Here's a ground ball sharply hit again, but at second base taken by Dunn. And he throws to first for the out. That's not really a hard hit ball by Bernard. Put out 4-3. And that is the first out here in the home half of the 7th inning.
That must be a nod to old Watt Powell Park.
Yes, Watt Powell Park.
A lot of dirty birds that did some damage on the press box.
The train tracks in right field, the mountain behind right field at old Watt Powell Park.
That was a great setting.
Pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, the conductors would blow the train horn when they were going through when a game was going on.
1-0. The pitch to Castellano, and that is outside. And some guys, they weren't very smart. They put some lawn chairs out there, watch the game, and you got to be quick when the train's coming. 2-0 the count. The pitch, and that's a strike on the inside.
Remember they had the toast guy.
The toast guy. This is true, folks. He would have a toaster behind home plate. I still to this day don't know where the electrical plug was.
No, I think he somehow got a portable one.
And he would make toast. Here's a swing and a foul.
He'd stack it up. I mean, he'd have a bunch of it.
Right, and when a guy would strike out the opposing team, he would yell, "You are toast," and he would throw it at him. Throw it at the net. I mean, like, it was definitely different. In the 80s and the 90s, that was minor league baseball.
Yeah, you could do that then, yeah.
The toast guy. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss.
I don't think toasters are an accepted item anymore into a ballpark. I don't think you can fit that into your clear plastic bag.
2 down. Here's Zach Remillard. You might get the toast in, but not the toaster.
right. You can bring toast in.
Here's Remillard. You know, it used to be that was a great spot up on the roof. There was a great broadcast angle up there, but the roof got so old They had to condemn it for a while. There's a check swing foul.
Well, they condemned like a side of it because I remember on like the first base side, when I was with Kannapolis, that's where we would sit.
Yeah, they opened it back up years later, but back when I was there in the early 90s, they closed it and they put a trailer behind third. We sat in the trailer. It wasn't safe up there anymore. Here's the pitch. And a strike on the outside corner. Speaking of not being safe in the press box, years ago, if you watch Bull Durham, and when Crash Davis gets released from Durham, he goes and hits that dinger playing for the Asheville Tourists. Here's a swing and a foul ball. That was at old McCormick Field, not the one that's there now, but the one that preceded that. And when I first got into minor league baseball in 1990, that is where the Asheville Tourists played. And the press box was a lot like old Tiger Stadium, where you would just get peppered by foul balls. Here's a half swing and a ball in the dirt. Didn't go. Ball one. 1-2 on Remillard. 2 outs in the inning. Knights down 5-1 here in the 7th inning. And you would really have to sit there with a glove on to make sure you didn't get smoked by a foul ball. And there were these giant holes in the wall behind you where the balls would just have gone through over
pelted.
The years. 1-2 on Remillard. And the pitch is hit in front of the plate. No, spins foul. Picked up by the catcher, Raposo, but a foul ball, says the home plate umpire, Chris Marco. Count stays 1-2. So back in the day, back in the early 1990s, the Tourists did not have home radio. So if you were the visitor like we were, you were the last guy out. You had to turn the lights out. So I would turn the lights out at McCormick Field, but when you did that, you would exit on the roof of the stadium, and it was a very rickety old roof. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss, struck him out. To finish the story quickly, if you didn't stay on the designated walkway, you would fall through. And one night, my right foot went through the roof at Old McCormick Field, but luckily I was holding on to the railing, and I didn't go through. That was back in the day, Mike, back in the day. So we go now to the 8th inning. It is still 5-1 Memphis, and you're listening to the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. At the plate, next one is hit high and deep to center field, and that back of the wall caught by Fletcher. Well, the ball's not carrying tonight to center field. Off the bat, it looked like Baker was going to hit that one off the batter's eye, and it ends up just in the glove of Fletcher at the base of the fence, the 400-foot sign in center field, and that is the first out. That was a moonshot right there.
He hit that pretty hard. 101 the velocity on that one, but it was a towering shot too.
His pitch is inside. He actually offered at it on a bunt attempt, and it's going to be called a strike. They appeal with Casey James at third base. Cesar Prieto was the hitter. Had a 2-run home run to left field in the third. Opposite field home run, his 5th home run of the season. He's now tied with Baker for the team lead in homers. He's hitting .314. Now Plimal's pitch is cut on and foul tipped at home plate, strike 2. The 0-2 is hammered to right down the line. This one is going to go foul in Club 93. That got in there in a hurry.
It did.
Hit the back wall. And now somebody up there in Club 93 gets the souvenir. Two strikes on Prieto. On deck is Jordan Walker. And the pitch. Well, it's not going to count. Pitch clock violation. And the pitch was inside anyway, so same result. Had he thrown it, it was a ball. Pitch clock violation. 1-2. And next one is up high. Now, you know, it was interesting because the umpire was trying to stop play, saying it was a violation, but Plimo threw the pitch. The umpire kind of went back into his crouch. Could the hitter have been
I
allowed
was
to
just
swing?
thinking that. I'm gonna double check that. I don't think so, but I'm gonna double check it.
Here's the 2-2, and it's up high. As you wonder, had the hitter swung and say he hit one out of the ballpark, would it have counted? As the umpire was trying to stop play. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be up high, ball 4. So Prieto walks. First to reach against Plymouth, and now the batter is Jordan Walker.
The answer is no, which is kind of what we thought. Once they determine there's a pitch clock violation, it shuts down. So you can't. It's not like
it makes sense.
It's not like an offensive penalty in football where they keep the play going. It shuts it down.
Toss over to first, and diving back in safely is Prieto. Jordan Walker, he's a big guy, 6'5". They list him at 245, only 21 years old. Listed as the 4th best overall prospect in all of minor league baseball coming into the season, according to Baseball America. Here's a swing and a foul back. Began his major league career with a 12-game hitting streak with the Cardinals. Cardinals record for a player starting his big league career. Right now back down in AAA. Has 1 RBI in just a few games. Today he's 0 for 3. Last time he sent one to the center field fence, caught by Fletcher. The pitch, swing and a foul.
Now that's the advantage of having Dusty Dellinger in town. Of course, Dusty's one of the umpire coordinators and lives north of Charlotte, but he's here quite a bit. And so I walked in and he said, I was trying to get your attention because he saw me get up. I said, no, I appreciate that, Dusty. So good to have him with us.
Yeah, it's like when you watch the Sunday NFL game.
That's right.
They go to the booth with the.
He can be our Mike
official.
Pereira.
Yeah. 0-2 on Walker.
I don't think he'd want to be mic'd up though. I think he likes just being an advisor.
The 0-2, and it's up high.
I don't want to assume though. So I mean, if he comes in, we'll get him a headset.
Don't forget, tomorrow night, fireworks after the game. Same on Saturday. Get your tickets at charlotteknights.com. Pitch down low, and check swing by Walker. 2-2 on Walker. 1 out in the inning. We're in the top of the 8th. Right now, 5-1. The Redbirds have the lead. The kick and the pitch. Did he go?
Oh, no.
Check swing. No, says the first base umpire, Mark Stewart Jr. And the count is now full. Watch the replay. Boy, that was really close. So 3-2 the count. Chase Plymouth out of the stretch. Runner takes off at first base. The pitch is strike throw to second base. He's going to be out. Double play. Strike him out. Throw him out. Second one thrown out today by Chucky Robinson. And to put out 2-4 at the bag. And that'll do it in the 8th inning for the Redbirds. Middle of 8. Charlotte coming up down 5-1. This is the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. 6 hits. The Knights 1 run on 6 hits. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider got him swinging. And Thomas strikes out Fletcher. Here's Montgomery, who has struck out, walked, and homered. The Knights run coming on his solo home run off the facade of the Atrium Health home run porch in right field back in the 5th inning. Montgomery now 4 home runs on the season for the Charlotte Knights. And the lefty-lefty matchup as he faces Thomas. Pitch is down the middle for a strike. Thomas, 25 years old. He's from Tifton, Georgia. Last season with the Memphis Redbirds. 5th round pick of the Cardinals in 2019. This pitch is up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, tomorrow night, 7:04. And then on Saturday, 6:05, and it's Star Wars night. Fireworks after both games. Get your tickets at charlotteknights.com. Here's a swing and a miss. Went down to one knee. Trying to get that one, but the count now 1-2 on the Knights shortstop. Colson now batting .220. Looks out at Thomas, who has the sign. Now pitches and throws outside. Chucky Robinson's on deck. Knights need some base runners. They're down 4 here in the 8th inning with 1 away. The pitch is a fastball. He was right on it, but he fouled it back. So tonight is the halfway point of this 6-game series. Got a day game on Sunday. Knights will travel on their off day Monday down to Gwinnett. And then on Tuesday begin a 6-game series with the Gwinnett Stripers. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled away. Knights are back here in a couple of weeks. They'll take on the Durham Bulls for the first time this season. Durham. Here's the pitch. Swing and a ground ball. Right side is going to get through. A hard grounder through the infield. And Montgomery's on with a 1-out single in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now here's Chucky Robinson. You know, coming into the day, the Durham Bulls had the worst record of any team in the International League. 11-18. That's certainly out of character for them. A team that's won a lot of championships since the 1998 season when they became a AAA expansion team in the International League. Here's the pitch. Broken bat, line drive. Caught by the first baseman, Baker. What a play! The big fella moving well and diving in the coaching box and making a catch of that broken bat soft liner that was kind of breaking away from Baker as he ran towards it. But he laid out, made a beautiful catch. And Robinson is the second out of the inning. He got robbed right there. What a play by Luken Baker. So here's Oscar Colas. And with 2 outs, Colas takes the first pitch for a strike. Boy, what a play. You look at Luken Baker. He's a really big guy. Doesn't look like he could move like he just did. Pitch is outside. He is a good athlete. Not the fastest guy, but boy, he got over there quickly. Made a great diving play. Here's a ground ball. This one to the second baseman. Dunn charges. And he's going to flip it to the bag at first for the out. 4-3, and the inning is over. And the pitcher, Thomas, waits for his first baseman and gives him a high five of that play he made on Chucky Robinson. That'll do it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left here in the 8th inning. It's on to inning number 9 here in Uptown Charlotte tonight. Knights trailing Memphis 5-1. This is the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. New pitcher for the Knights here in the 9th inning. It's going to be right-hander Dalton Roach taking over. He's thrown 3 2/3 innings out of the pen since joining the Knights. And he'll face Rivas, Dunn, and Raposo, the bottom 3 in the lineup. 5-1 Memphis. First pitch is cut on a miss. Big swing right there by Rivas. What a 4-hit night last night, but so far today 0 for 3. I should say yesterday afternoon. Here's the pitch. Inside. One ball and 1 strike. Lefty hitter. Now Roach pitches, and it's fouled back. This is Roach's 5th game with the Charlotte Knights. Last season, Roach spent some time with the Redbirds. 38 games out of their bullpen. He was 1-4, 5 saves, a 3.77 ERA with the Redbirds a year ago. 1-2 on Rivas. He kicks and throws, and he struck him out. Off speed at 76, and Rivas way in front, and that is the first out. So in the bottom of the inning, it'll be Perez, Deloach, and Bernard due up. Looks like another pitcher in the bullpen getting ready for the Redbirds. The Orioles today beat the Yankees. Got their 20th win. They beat the Yankees 7-2. Aiken got the win. Former Knight Carlos Rodon suffered the loss. He's now 2-2 for the Yanks. Here's the pitch by Roach. Outside. Final and 10. The Marlins beat the Rockies 5-4. In the fourth inning right now, Cleveland on top of the Astros 2-1. That is in Houston. Here's the pitch, and it's up high. Just a partial schedule today. This afternoon, it was the Mets over the Cubs, 7-6. And the Giants beat the Red Sox at Fenway 3-1. Pitch here is inside, 3-0. And the Rangers beat the Nationals 6-0. Nate Eovaldi got his second win. Lowered his ERA to 2.61. It was a 4-hit shutout for Texas. Defending world champions now 17-15. 3 balls, no strikes. Roach now pitching, and he throws a strike on the inside of 91. White Sox not playing today, the Knights parent club. Three balls, 1 strike. And now the pitch. Swing and a foul out of play. Nick Raposo's on deck. Dunn is triple, grounded out, and walked. Three-two is hit in the air to left field, down the line. Long run for Deloach, still coming, slides, can't get it. That's down as a fair ball, and Dunn's on second base with a double. Already the owner of a triple. Now he's got a 2-base hit, slicing that one down the left side. And the batter's going to be Nick Raposo. Deloach trying to slide feet first, but he just was a little bit short of getting his glove on that ball, and it skipped by him. So it's a double for Nick Dunn. And now Raposo coming up. He's got an RBI double, a ground out, and a line drive to the shortstop today. 1 out of 3. (5-1) Memphis here in the top of the 9th inning. 1 out. And the pitch is off the plate outside. Ball 1. A double for Nick Dunn, his 3rd of the season. Now the pitch outside.
I think we have some Ric Flair fans here tonight. There's some woos going on out there.
They're still having fun here in the 9th inning.
Pretty good crowd, too.
Here's the pitch. Strike on the outside at 91.
You know, that's the one thing that's been really fun about being here is that the fans are really into these games, especially when, you know, when the Knights are trying to do something.
Here's the 2-1, and it's up high. Should be another nice day tomorrow. Fireworks after the game. 3 balls and 1 strike. The count right down Raposo. Next pitch, he swings, skies one behind the bag at second. Castellano calling for it on the outfield grass, and the Knights second baseman grabs that for the 2nd out of the inning. And it brings up Victor Scott. Nick Nastrini is supposed to pitch the game for the Knights tomorrow. And Zach Thompson will get the baseball for the Redbirds tomorrow. Nastrini pitching his 4th game of the Knights. Thompson just his 2nd game and his 1st as a starter for the Redbirds this season. This one is up high, ball 1. Scott, a left-handed batter, hit his first home run of the season yesterday. And it came late in the game to stretch out the lead. Took him a 2-run game to a 4-run game. Pitch is inside. So 2-0 on Scott, who played his college baseball at the University of West Virginia. As I mentioned earlier, finished 2nd in the minor leagues last year in base hits. 2nd to his current teammate, Thomas Sajaci, who's on deck right now. Here's the pitch, and Scott's going to take up high. So 3 balls and no strikes. Now the 3-0, and that is going to miss, and it's ball 4. Now 2 on base. Now Knights down 4 already. Don't want to fall any further back. And a tough out now, and Sajaci coming up. He's walked 3 times and popped up to the second baseman, Castellano. So he's 0 for 1 officially on the night. He's hitting .258 in the season. Again, he's had a pretty good series this week at Truist Field. Jackie Robinson out having a chat with Dalton Roach. So after the trade last year, when Sajaci joined Memphis, he and Roach would have been teammates. So a right-hander against a right-hander as Sajaci stands in. He's on top of the plate, not all the way back in the box. Runners on first and second with 2 away. 4-run game right now. Redbirds on top in the 9th inning. And the first pitch down and away, ball 1. Infield playing Sajaci to pull the ball. There's a pretty good opening on the right side between Perez and Castellano. Here's one right down the middle for a strike. 91 miles an hour. The 1-1, here it is, swing and a miss, and he actually loses his balance in the follow through. A big hard swing, and he went down to one knee in the box. The count now 1-2 on Sajaci. He swings the next one, a breaking ball, and he pulled it foul. Sajaci behind 1-2. Roach off the far first base side of the pitching rubber. His right foot just along the side of the rubber. Here's the pitch on the outside corner, ringing him up, and the inning is over. Strike 3. They don't add on. They leave 2 on base, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Charlotte coming up trailing 5-1. Last chance here for the Charlotte Knights on this Thursday night. They trail 5-1. And for the second straight day, Ryan Ludus is in to try and get the last 3 outs. And just like yesterday, it's not a safe situation. He was protecting a 4-run lead yesterday, and he did. Memphis won the game 7-3, and he's protecting a 4-run lead tonight. It's 5-1. Pitch to Perez, strike 1. Has a single tonight, couple of flyouts, 1 for 3. team has 7 hits in the game, but the Knights are down 5-1. Here's the pitch, and Perez grounds one to the right side, hit number 8 into right field, a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Matt, that's the first time tonight the Knights have had their leadoff hitter in an inning reach.
Probably one reason why they're down 5-1 right now, just not a lot of early in the inning opportunities. Now they've had the bases loaded tonight, twice.
Yep.
In the second and again in the third, but came up empty in both innings. Pitch here is inside, ball 1. The batter is Zach Deloach. He's 1 for 3 with a single.
And Robertson was a little bit of a magician. I mean, he worked out of the both back-to-back bases loaded situations.
Pitch here is outside. The first one of the second, there was 1 out, and he got a double play ball. The second one, the Knights loaded the bases with 2 outs. Got 3 on, but then again left him loaded. 2-0 on Deloach. The pitch, and that's a strike on the outside at 94. Now Luda steps off the pitching rubber. Perez at first base. Deloach hitting .267. And now the 2-1. Swing and a foul back. 2-2 on Deloach. And Luda's pitching yesterday. It's his 9th game this season, 0.93 ERA, 1 win, no losses, 3 for 3 in saves. Pitch is off the outside. Now it's a full count. Now he had no trouble yesterday in a non-save situation. Today is another non-save situation. First hitter reaching. Now he's 3-2 on the next one. Here's the payoff pitch, and he struck him out. Got him looking on a fastball at 94, about knee high on the inner third of the plate. And that is the first out, and now the batter is going to be Winton Bernard. Bernard's hitting .292. Has a single today, 1 for 3. Right-handed hitter. And the first pitch is going to be a slider for a strike, 0-1. Up the middle, the infield playing for 2. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Bernard trying to reach it, but swings under that one. And the count is 2 strikes. He's the designated hitter tonight for the Charlotte Knights. The 0-2 is fouled away. Off-speed pitch. Breaking ball. The terrific person in the crowd caught it or dropped it. There's a huge fan reaction.
Yes, I didn't see it. It's kind of in the blind spot here.
Here's the pitch. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Memphis leads 5-1. 9th inning, 1 out. The count 1-2 on Bernard. Carlos Perez at first base. Castellanos on deck. Luda's pitches, and he struck him out a high heater at 94. That was about letter high. Gets a swing and miss. And now the Knights are down to their final out in this one today. Ludas is the 4th Redbirds pitcher. The starter, Sam Robertson, is in line to get the win again, which would be his 4th. He went 6 innings. Here's a swing by Castellano. Fly ball down the line and right. It's going to go foul in the bullpen. Castellano 0 for 3. He's batting .226. Last Last season, he was in AAA with the Kansas City Royals, playing for the Omaha Storm Chasers. And his manager was Mike Jersley, the Knights manager Justin's dad. Remillard would be next. That's if Castellano can extend this 9th inning. Here's the 0-1 swing and a foul back. 0-2, and now the Knights are down to their final strike. Redbirds trying to win 2 straight after losing the opener on Tuesday night. No balls, couple of strikes. The pitch in the dirt. Perez takes off, no throw. Defensive indifference. Keeps the Knights out of a force play now on a ground ball, but they trail by 4 runs. They need base runners. Castellano trying to get on. The count 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swing, a little tapper on the first base side. The pitcher's going to cover. Baker's got it, throws to first. They get the out, and the ball game is over. That's a nice play on that side by the pitcher, Ludus, getting over to cover. Well, some timely hitting by the Redbirds and some terrific pitching in tonight. And Memphis has now won the last couple of games in this series. They win tonight 5-1 here at Truist Field. And here are the totals. Memphis 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They strand 6 on base. The Charlotte Knights 1 run, 8 hits, no errors. They strand 7. Sam Robertson is the winning pitcher, going 6 innings. He is now 4-0. And Yohan Dominguez is the losing pitch of the Charlotte Knights. He drops to 2-2. The game took 2 hours and 32 minutes in front of a crowd of 6,032. Memphis now 14-15. The Knights drop to 13-16, and Memphis now leads the series 2-1, and the season series 4-2. You look at this one tonight, Mike. Just not enough opportunities for the Charlotte Knights. They had a couple early in the game with the bases loaded, but couldn't get anything in either inning. And of course, that second one, there was 2 outs, nobody on. They load them up with 2 outs. Then there's a fly ball that ends the inning. So not a lot of opportunities outside of that. The 1 run coming on Montgomery's homer, and they face some really good pitching tonight. Well,
it turns out, Matt, that the second and third innings end up, as the game played out, being the game. And obviously you don't know it at the time, and that's why I talk about taking advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. And that's a credit, as you mentioned at the end there, to the good pitching. And Robertson, look, this guy's coming in almost lights out. A 1.82 ERA entering the day. The home run he did give up to Colson Montgomery was only the second home run he's given up in 6 outings. And that's low for this level.
And he's 21 years old, and he's not someone who possesses that just blazing fastball. He's just a pitcher.
Yep.
He moves it around, changes speeds, and he's not afraid
had a really good cutter.
And doesn't walk hitters.
Yeah, no, limited to, he had 1 walk, gave up 1 home run, 6 hits. And, he's not going to light up the radar gun. I think his fastball topped out about 92, 93, which, 10 years ago, 15 years ago wasn't terrible. Now it's a little low, but, hopefully we're getting back to the pitchability era for pitchers, right? Like, obviously you want to have that velocity, but, you need a bunch of guys to come through that have success without, throwing gas all the time. But he was good, and, the Knights, they played well enough at times to win this game. They just couldn't get anything going offensively against a pretty good pitching outing tonight by the Redbirds.
And the bullpen, 3 innings, 3 different pitchers, a single inning each, total of 2 hits, both singles. That's it. No walks out of the bullpen. They ended up striking out 5 hitters. So real nice outing all the way around for this Memphis staff, and they win the ball game 5-1. Back with more in a moment. This is the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network.